Good evening, everyone, and welcome. We are double streaming as always. We are live on TikTok. We are live on YouTube as well. And ladies and gentlemen, what I want to talk about today is the dark kitchens that are sprouting up all over the United Kingdom. I do want to focus on that, guys, but we are going to be talking about what's been happening in the Middle East. We are, and I'm going to come back to this, and I'm going to mention something that I previously said with regards to these airstrikes that the Israelis were putting in on the Iranians. Oh, he can't see me. They can't see me. Right. Right, because I'm using the camera. Right, mate, I'm going to have to turn you off.
Yeah, okay.
Right, I'm going to have to turn you off. Sorry, guys. Let me turn. I tried streaming with WhatsApp on, so Rob could be in the chat, but let me close Rob down in a second. Right, I'm going to turn it off. Rob, you're going to have to turn it off. Hang on. It's all going wrong. Right, sorry about that, guys. Can you see me now? Am I on? I don't know if I'm on. Right, give me a second, guys. Right, this has all gone wrong, hasn't it? This has all gone wrong. I'm here, guys. I'm here. Just give me a second. Right, I need the camera to get on. Right, where's my camera? Cameras. Right, give me a second. Camera. Right, guys, I'm gonna close the TikTok down, and then I'm gonna open it straight back up. I'm gonna close the TikTok down, and then I'll open it straight back up, guys. Okay, give me a second. Right, if you guys listen, all of you guys on YouTube, that was a bit of a disaster. What I tried to do on that live stream, I tried to do the live stream and have my friend online as well, so we could so we could just talk, I guess. But it didn't work as I. Now the camera's not working at all. Oh, this is not working at all. This is not right. I'm gonna have to close that one down again. Right, that's not working. I'm going to close that down. Right, let me close that, and let me close the whole thing down. I'll reopen it. Hello, you guys. Right, listen, guys, on YouTube, yeah, it is bonkers what's happened in America. It does look like the Americans are now under sabotage. It does look like they're fighting an asymmetric war. What's happened with the firemen? So basically, for those guys who don't know, the firemen in America, and I think it was Idaho, I think. The fire engines, basically, they got called out to a blaze. They got to the blaze. When they got there, they were ambushed. I think two of them were killed. I mean, can you imagine that? You, as a fireman, you go out there to put a fire out. But look, guys, I genuinely see this as a sign of things to come. These are tactics used by bad guys when we talk about asymmetric warfare, grey warfare, non-conventional warfare, and all that sort of stuff, guys. All right, so let me just let me jump back up and refocus that. Let me refocus that. We are on. I think we're on, guys. But yeah, you're right. So Pangea Prime here over on Pangea Prime over on YouTube is saying sleeper cells waking up. Yeah, you know what? It's hard to like that sort of stuff. That is hard. It's hard to say that is not that is not a sleeper cell attack when you have literally got firemen going out to a call, becoming ambushed, two of them transcending to beams of light, and that is literally we will be talking about that as well, guys. All right, but yeah, it does look like sleeper cells are waking up, and I would suspect that these are going to be in the United Kingdom as well. Right, let me just click some buttons, guys. But listen, guys, what I wanted to talk about, I guess we'll try again, is we are now in the United Kingdom paying, and we are, guys, okay? We are now paying for our own demise in the United Kingdom. What do I mean by this? Well, the dark kitchens. Dark kitchens, guys. Now, this is one of those things that won't get as much media attention as it should. But all over the world, in the United Kingdom now, allegedly, of course, guys, of course, this is just alleged. There's a lot of reports, a lot of people talking about kitchens in migrant hotels being used by migrants to start their own little fast food enterprise. Now, look, this is our own demise. So let's just think about that money chain for a second, guys, okay? That money, all right, so our money in taxes, all right, is going to pay migrants and give them, pay for the hotels, pay for the food, pay for the accommodation, pay for their welfare, everything, you know. And then what they're doing with that money that we're giving them, they're then using that money, churning it around, using the food that we're giving them to survive on. They're then reselling that, I guess, you know, as big boy burgers. So big boy burgers are going out there. They're making 100% profit on that because they've got no outgoings. They've got no taxes. They are literally just making money hand over fist. Well, you, me, my nan, my grand, well, not my nan and my grand, they're both tragically, unfortunately, they've transcended into beams of light now. But, you know, everybody's paying taxes, and these people are just taking out the system, and I would speculate they're sending a lot of that money back home. Now, Donald Trump was saying, I think there's a bill passed in the United States which would stop people sending money out of the country if they're not a legal migrant. Now, can you imagine, guys, all right, where we have a situation where, like, let's just rudimental maths, guys, all right, rudimental maths. Let's just say, for example, there's 1 million people in the United Kingdom working here illegally. All right, let's just say there's 1 million. Do you know what? Where's my phone? Let me just do the maths. Do you know what? And those people are sending 500 quid, 500 quid a month home. That is a lot of money. Now that money is leaving the United Kingdom every month. Whenever they send that money, guys, that money leaves the UK economy. It goes into another, it goes to somebody else's bank account, and that leaves our country. And that's just why it's, that is just why it's just, people kind of don't focus on this, guys. People focus on the wrong stuff. Everybody wants to listen to the explosions and the dashing headlines. But realistically, guys, it's those slow burners that do the damage. Right, let me jump up and get the comments, guys. Listen, I guess we're on. We had a little bit of a swizzle earlier on, didn't we? We had a little bit of a swizzle. I was trying to get on. I had my friend on WhatsApp, and we was video calling on WhatsApp, and I was going to have him on, so he was going to be like a voice from an Ethereum voice. Right, I'm just going to get these comments, guys. Googly saying Google strikes landmark nuclear fusion deal. What? Is that real? Like Google? So Google, are we talking that right? Is this for real? So Google, the search engine, is now branching out into nuclear fusion. Well, there you go, guys. Google, like, really? I need to check on the internet, right? Google. Wow. Google just bought 200 megawatts of fusion energy that doesn't even exist yet. Tech giant Google is investing money into futuristic nuclear fusion plants. So nuclear power as it is at the moment, guys, all right? Nuclear, your nuclear guys, okay? The future of energy is nuclear. So nuclear power at the moment is something called nuclear fission. Nuclear fusion, I'm not convinced that we will ever be able to create nuclear fusion on Earth. We just don't have the critical mass. We cannot reach the critical mass to do nuclear fusion. But listen, Google are investing money into futuristic nuclear fusion plants that haven't even been built yet, but someday will replicate the energy of the sun. It's a sign of how hungry big tech companies are for a virtually unlimited source of clean power that is still years away. I would say they are, I would rephrase that and say it's a sign of how hungry big tech companies are to make more money. I don't think it's the fact that they want clean energy. I'd say it's the fact that look, guys, I don't think we're like humans have always we have always been 20 years away from nuclear fusion. So guys, listen, I don't want to bore anyone, but nuclear fusion Nuclear fusion is where you compress the atoms, you compress them so hard they fuse together, and that fusing of those atoms releases energy, hence nuclear fusion. A couple of years ago, a good friend of mine, you can Google this guy, Steve Rucroft. He was one of the senior particle physicists at CERN. And one of the things he was telling me about nuclear fusion, I used to say to him, I used to say, Steve, are they ever going to get nuclear fusion? And he said, to be honest, Sean, I don't think so. Every year we think of a new way of getting nuclear fusion, but the mass generated by the sun, it just can't be replicated on Earth. But anyway, let me jump up and get the rest of these comments. And then I will jump over to YouTube. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure how long I can be on here because it is hotter. It is hotter than a Syrian bunker in here, guys. It really is. It's hotter than a Syrian bunker. Kev O is saying, everything just seems so expensive and depressing right now. Yeah, doesn't it? Am I the only one that's feeling it? Kev O, no, you are not. Listen, I went to an ice cream shop literally today, walked in the ice cream shop. It was like £6 for 2 Mr. Whippies. And I'm like, I'm sure Mr. Whippies have to be sold for 99 pence. I'm pretty sure there's like legislation in place to protect people that Mr. Whippies only ever cost 99 pence. But yeah, I just paid like, I just paid £6 for 2 Mr. Whippies. There you go, guys. Capitalism. And Connor Button's calling me a nerd. So Connor Button here is calling me a nerd because I know about nuclear fusion. I'm sorry, Connor. Do you want me to not know about stuff? Do you know what? I bet Connor was one of those people who went to school, right? And he was like, you're not teaching me, teacher. I'm not listening to you. And when you think about that person who doesn't want to listen to their teachers, what they're actually saying is, given a choice to be smart or stupid, I'm choosing stupid. And, there we are, guys. There we are. Some people are fantastic. Anyway, some people are fantastic. I love Connor. I'm sure he's a great guy. Or woman, maybe. Who knows? April Lee saying, what have we missed? April, you have missed me explaining nuclear fusion and nuclear fission. Gareth is saying, UK scientists invent battery. Where's this gone? Where has this gone? UK scientists have invented a battery or something, but the chat is going absolutely bonkers right now, guys. I'm just trying to find this. In fact, hang on, right, let me find this, guys, listen, let me find this comment about the battery. I can't find the comment about the battery, it's gone, it's absolutely vanished. I can't find the battery comment. Somebody's commented about a battery, but I don't know where it is. I'm just right, oh, here we are, got it, found it, yes. UK scientists invent battery that doesn't need charging for 5,700 years. I mean, what does that even, okay, so my initial question to that would be how much energy is going out of that battery? Because if there's only a really tiny amount of energy leaving that battery, then, it's kind of, the battery itself is not that much of a breakthrough. JT saying UK police forces clashes will happen at football matches on Saturday the 13th of September. Right, guys, listen, there's loads of comments. I'm literally just going to jump to the bottom, okay? I'm going to jump to the bottom. I do apologize. I've got the chat open and it's so hot in here, guys. It is so hot. Rescuers in Turkey. Right, guys, listen, I'm going to talk a minute now, guys. We're going to talk about what's been happening in the United Kingdom. I know I've mentioned it before, but we have got the rise now. We are literally paying for our own demise in the United Kingdom, guys. We really are. We are paying for our own demise right now. We are paying migrants to come and stay in hotels. We're giving them money. We're letting them work. Then we're letting them send our tax money back home. Well, everyday people are working hard to put food on their table, to feed their kids, you know, take their kids on holiday, the summer holidays, you know, we are working hard to do this while we are paying with our tax dollars, we are paying migrants in migrant hotels to do whatever they want, guys, all right? And that money is leaving our country and it's going into other countries. It's absolutely unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Mr. Beast he's the YouTuber, right? Mr. Beast has removed an AI-powered YouTube thumbnail generator after criticism. All right, I don't know about that. Yeah, James has just got one here, guys. So remember what, like, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but remember, like, in my day anyway, when the red arrows, remember when the red arrows would do a flyover or a flyby? In my day anyway, they would put out red, white, and blue smoke. Turns out they're not really into that red, white, and blue smoke anymore, and they're only putting out they're only putting out white smoke. Do you know what white to me sounds like? White to me sounds like surrender. It really does, guys. White to me sounds like surrender. I don't know if it's a subliminal thing. I don't know if it's like got some sort of esoteric meaning or something whereby, you know, listen, guys, we're gonna put the red arrows up, and when the red arrows put white smoke, that means we've surrendered and we're not a country anymore. But yeah, as James is saying, the red, white, and blue offends people. Yeah, so apparently now, guys, blue and red smoke offend people. There you go, guys. Blue and red smoke offend people. Can you imagine how offended they'd be at Glastonbury? Can you imagine it there? Like, you know, you're there, you know, you're chanting, you've got your little flag that's not British, you know, and you're getting really angry about something, and then the red arrows do a fly past, and it's red, it's the colour of the country that you're in. Can you imagine how furious you'd be? Yeah, it is insane. Agreed, Sean. It's absolutely soul destroying, paying for the liberty of people to live in poverty. Yeah. Look, and you know, I think I mentioned this yesterday. There's a lot of homeless people in the United Kingdom. Like, do you know what? Like, why can't we just put homeless people in the hotels with migrants? Like, why can't we do that? You know, this money's there anyway. Can't we do that? Are we not allowed to put, like, you know, just say, hey, listen, guys, I know you're living on the streets. I know that, but do you want to come and get a bed and, like, you know, have a bed and some meals? I mean, we're already paying for them, so you might as well just come and jump in. You know, it's very difficult to try and understand unless you understand ideological subversion. If you understand subversion, it all makes, you know, it all makes sense. It all makes sense. Right, so I want to quickly talk about what's been happening in Liverpool Crown Court, guys, okay? So Liverpool Crown Court, so those of you guys who you may or may not know, today was the beginning of the trial of the two brothers that had, you know, the two brothers who had fisticuffs in Manchester Airport. Now, we'll talk about this a little bit more in depth on YouTube when we switch over. But those two guys, Manchester Airport, this is what I think they're going for. I think this is, look, guys, and listen, I need to caveat this because I don't want to get a live banned or anything. I'm clearly not a legal expert, guys, all right? If you want legal expert advice, go to, like, Black Belt Barrister or something. That's not me. I'm just giving you guys what I see. So you've got these two guys, you know, the two guys in Manchester who had allegedly had fisticuffs. What I think they're going for is, I think there's a strong possibility that this could get thrown out of court because they're still pleading not guilty. I don't know how they're pleading not guilty. Like, it's there to see. So what I think is going to happen I think on the first day of this trial, so today, guys, the trial, it wasn't like they were in the dock asking questions. Today, as I understand it, they were just getting the jury ready. So this is going to be a trial by jury. And again, it is what it is. They were just doing, like, I guess, admin. I think the real trial starts tomorrow. Or Wednesday, I think it is Wednesday. So what I think they're going to do on the first day of the trial, I think the representing, I don't know, barrister or whatever, I think that representing barrister is going to say, this cannot be a fair trial because of the amount of social media coverage that it's had. And I think he's going to try and get it kicked out that way, guys. I really do. That's the direction that I see it going. And look, I'm pretty convinced that these guys are never going to see the inside of a cell. I don't think they're going to see the inside of a cell. Unless they tweet something, and then if they tweet something, they're straight into prison. Right, guys, listen, I can see the comments on TikTok building up. I'm just going to jump over to YouTube quickly, guys, okay? I'm just going to jump over to YouTube quickly. Oh, right, there's so many comments on YouTube. Right, I'm just going to read out the comments on YouTube. I am going to get them all, and then we're going to continue. Imagine we did that, they'd come down, a load of fines for the regulation. Yeah, so now, guys, I think we talked, Pangea Prime over on YouTube, he's talking about the migrants in the hotels using the kitchens to sell fast food from those kitchens. Claire is saying hello. Vinny Holmes is saying hello. Evening, Sean. How is everyone? Mr. Matters is saying double streaming mush. Love the content. Thank you so much, Mr. Meester. I think that name is Mr. Meester. Did you get the roof rack for your bug out car? Oh, guys, listen, this roof rack has been an absolutely epic task, guys. It's been an epic task. No, I've not got the roof rack yet for the car, but I went to the shop today, right? I went in, I said, mate, listen, I'm being passed around like a I'm being passed around like a bag of Maltesers at a kid's party, all right? Everybody's saying they can't. I said, can you do roof racks? He said, what's your registration plate? I told him. He said, yeah, we've got them. I said, can I look at it? I looked at the picture, and on the picture, it's like, I said, that's not my car. He said, what do you mean it's not your car? I said, well, I know that's not my car, but that's not my model of car. My roof rails are different. He said, well, that's what's coming up. I said, right, do you know what? I'm just going to take it. So apparently my roof rack's going to end up, it's going to get here Wednesday afternoon. So who knows, guys? Who knows? Ali is saying there's not much chat in the news about the World War III scenario. No, there isn't. But you know what, guys? I'm going to talk about this actually. So remember when the Israelis started conducting the airstrikes on Iran? One of the things I said is, right, I said, guys, look, they can't keep this pace up for long because of the servicing that needs to happen to those aircraft. Now, what's happened recently is you've seen there's images out now, and there's mainstream media reporting that the Iranians are moving trucks, bulldozers into the facility at Fordo. It looks like they're trying to dig that facility out and see what the damage is like. Remember, guys, okay, at this point right now, as I understand it, nobody knows what the actual damage is at Fordo, guys. Nobody knows what the damage is at Fordo. Donald Trump is claiming it's a fantastic hit, the best hit that's ever been. Look, guys, I'm not taking anything away from that capacity that the United States have. Listen, guys, imagine being Donald Trump, right? Imagine being Donald Trump and sitting there knowing, right, that he can press a button, or, maybe it's not a button, maybe it's, I don't know, maybe he's got an app on his phone. Maybe Donald Trump's got an app on his phone and he just logs on and then he just clicks it and he long clicks the thing. And like when he does that, the B-2 bomber set off. But look, imagine being the Americans, right? And you're sitting on the capability to strike anywhere in the world, like unopposed. The technology is phenomenal, guys. Now, early on when this happened, I was quite clear. I said, look, the way these bunker busters work, there's a lot of things that can go wrong with them as they're descending. Now, I didn't say it hadn't worked. I didn't say it had worked. I said there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong, and I've not seen any evidence myself that this has been successful or unsuccessful. So, I still think we have to wait. The situation in Ukraine, guys, it's literally going from bad to worse. The other day, there was I think yesterday, or no, I think it was Sunday. Yeah, yesterday. Sunday, there was an F-16 shot down. The Ukrainians are losing. They're losing about one F-16 every month. The Russians have upped their manufacturing capacity now, and they're sending waves of 500 Shahed drones at once. That's doubled up with ballistic missiles, so that whole scenario is just getting out of control. At some point, guys, listen, I believe at some point we're going to have to, Europe and the Europeans are going to have to pull their big boy pants on and actually go into Ukraine and do something, because, it really can't go on like that. Mr. Matter is saying, a guy I know has been made homeless with his wife, wow, and dog. They aren't getting any help whatsoever from the local council, who say they aren't a priority. It's disgusting, Mr. Massa. Yeah, Mr. Meester, I think Mr. Meester is the way we pronounce that. He's saying, a person he knows has been made homeless with his wife and their dog, and they're not getting any help from the council. Honestly, guys, I can't even play devil's advocate with this, when people come up and they'll give a comment, I'll say, well, maybe think about this way, but I genuinely, I can't give any devil's advocacy to that, guys, because it just does not make any sense, guys, okay? Does not make any sense. Oh, and from Tilly Gallardi, who is over in Israel, is saying the Israeli Defense Force publicly said that they had boots on the ground in Iran. I don't know whether that's boots, like actual military, or are we talking about spies? Are we talking about, we parachuted some dudes in and then we lifted them out with a helicopter? But what I would say, knowing the Middle East as I do, I would say that it would be relatively easy to pay people off and move in, actual Israeli commandos on the ground in, let me Google this actually. I'm not saying it's not true. I just want to get some, update. Wow. So this is from the Wall Street Journal, guys, right? So this is from the Wall Street Journal. Israeli military chief says commandos operated in Iran during the... Hang on. Let me get... Right, yeah. From the Wall Street Journal, guys, okay? Israeli military chief says commandos operated in Iran during the war. Israeli's military chief of general staff... wow, yeah, guys, these Israeli names are difficult to pronounce. Yal Zamir revealed that Israeli commandos had operated on the ground in Iran throughout the 12-day war. The forces operated covertly deep in enemy territory, all right, and created operational freedom. All right, so there you go, guys, okay? So it does look like there were real, actual Israelis on the ground, boots on the ground, operating in inside Iran. I would say they were civilian dressed, though, guys. I would say they were dressed in civilian clothes, not, when people think of commandos on the ground and special forces on the ground, everybody thinks of these guys in Splinter Cell with their night vision goggles on. But the reality is they're probably just cruising around in unmarked cars, dressed as local, dressed as locals, which is very hard to spot. Gareth over on TikTok is saying, oh, hang on. So Gareth is saying Spain hits 46 degrees Celsius as European heat wave breaks records. Guys, listen, how hot is it today, really? It's hotter. Literally, guys, all right? It is hotter it's hotter than an Iranian nuclear facility today in the United Kingdom, guys. Honestly, it is really difficult. And of course, in the UK, nobody has air conditioning because we only get like maybe 2 or 3 hot days a year. But yeah, it is just absolutely roasting, guys. Absolutely roasting. And then Googly is saying 8 girls as young as 11 assaulted in a public pool by a family of Syrian men. Let me find this. Oh. Right, guys, and this is one of those topics that this is one of those topics where I'm going to struggle to get all the words out. So, 4 members of a Syrian family did some bad stuff, and you guys can imagine what it is, to girls aged 11 to 17 at a German swimming pool. Listen, guys, like, do not push the Germans. Don't do it. Don't aggravate the Germans. We all know what happens, guys. We all know what happens when people aggravate the Germans. 4 members of a Syrian family. So what is that like? 2 sons, the dad and the uncle? Is that how it is now? Oh, come on, let's go down the pool. Yeah, is your granddad coming? Yeah, I'll get me granddad. What about, yeah, let's get me granddad. Like, so 4 members of a Syrian family have been accused of doing the thing to girls aged 11 to 17 at a swimming pool in Germany. The alleged incident took place at Barosabad pool in German words, where 5 schoolgirls initially came forward and reported it being assaulted in the water. Wow. The children who told lifeguards were reportedly sent back to the pool before the police were called. Despite their claims, staff said to have told the girls to return to swimming, allegedly reporting back if anything happened. 4 young Syrian men aged between 18 and 28. All right, okay, so I'm going to say they were like uncles or something, because listen, when you go to the Middle East, everybody's an uncle. Everybody's uncles. Everybody's got uncles. He's my uncle. Like, really? Are you guys all related? And for some of you guys who know the statistics about, I'm going to save that one for YouTube, guys. All right, the statistics. Officers were able to speak to 3 of the men at the pool on Sunday, while a 4th had already left the premises. Scatter. Yeah, so there we have it, guys. You know, it just looks like if you go to the pools now, you take your daughters to the pools, make sure you watch out. Because there's apparently there's families of Syrian men cruising the pools looking to do bad stuff. Excuse me. Right, let me jump up. Listen, guys, we've got a powerful comment coming here. Where is it? I've just seen a really powerful comment coming here from TST. I think that stands for Time Sensitive Target. Time Sensitive Target Outram is saying winter is coming. Listen, if winter is coming, I want to hold winter off for as long as it can. I want to keep the hot weather, guys. I do. I would prefer the hot weather. I would, guys. All right, only because my heating bill goes up ridiculously. April Lee saying not safe anywhere. JTTJ saying I cannot believe this year has gone so quickly. July already. Tomorrow it is. Breaking news, says Gareth. Kazakhstan bans niqabs. What's a niqab? Is the niqab this one that just goes over the top? I don't know. An all face covering clothing in public. Look, guys, and I need to say this like a few times. When I used to live in Syria, the women in Syria, they didn't wear this whole like burqa thing. This is like a Western European thing. It is, guys, all right? You know, it's a Western European thing. I used to say to the girls in the office, I say, why don't you wear all this like thing like the girls in the UK? And they would say, oh, Sean, this is too hot for us. It's very hot in this weather. And I'm like, oh, right, okay, so whatever. But yeah, real Syrians don't like to wear that stuff on their head, but as soon as people come to the United Kingdom, it is totally fine. And Timsky is saying they kicked sand at someone and called Gordia, I'm assuming in Ireland. JTTJ saying the 7th of July is going to be 20-year anniversary of the 7/7 bombings. Wow, yeah, I can remember them, guys. That was wild. That was wild times, guys. The 7/7 bombings. I was still in the military at that time, and a lot of the military guys were getting called back off operations to go and support the police for doing things in the United Kingdom. It was wild. It was absolutely wild. Grumbling Grunts has just dropped my biscuit in his tea. Right, guys. Good evening, everyone. Right, guys. I'm going to jump down, so I do apologize if I'm missing anyone's. Anyone's comments. Cal is saying, no better Scotland than a free Scotland. Right, so Cal, I'm assuming that's short for Callum. Right, Callum, what is it that the English stop you from doing? You know, what is it, Callum, that the English stop you from doing? Because listen, where we used to live, there was some Scottish people, there was these two Scottish twins called Billy and John. Excuse me. And they used to live in these flats above the shops. And honestly, every time you heard the Braveheart music coming on, you know that do 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 do, you'd be like, oh God. And then you'd hear like shouting out of the windows going, "You we English bastards! Yeah, you English!" I'm like, oh God. And like, what is it that the English stop the Scottish from doing? Like, please, can somebody let me know what the English, what freedoms do you want? Like, what do you want to do? Do you want a magic carpet? Like, what is it? Oh, hang on. So Callum is saying the English stop the Scottish from becoming a progressive country where we accept and bring forwards progression. Okay, so what do you mean, Callum, by progression? Like, are you not progressing as Scotland? Are you, Callum, where you live, do you still wear like kilts and go wash your face in the glen? I am gonna go wash my face in the glen. No, the English will not let us have hot water. Nay, the English keep all the hot water for themselves. Aye, us here in Scotland, we're harder than that. We have to wash our faces in cold water from the glen. Aye, sometimes Nessie, he's nipping at my toes. Like, what do you mean by progression, Callum? What do you mean by? And I mean, no offense, like genuinely. Equally, I don't know if anybody's watching who used to be B Company One Para. So anybody who was B Company One Para, you guys will know that the B Company One Para, which is what when I first joined the parachute regiment, guys, I went to B Company One Para, and it was massively heavy with Scottish. It was massively heavy with Scottish, right, guys? And if you want to know what racism felt like, guys, I was terrified, right? At 17, sorry, by the time I got to battalion. At 17 years old, you've got all these big, like, muscly Scottish people. And you see them throwing hands all the time, right? So when you're stood there in the corridor and they're shouting, "Here," like, you know, the same sort of stuff. I can remember this one incident, right? I was walking, it was a weekend, and I was walking back to the block, and I was walking. It was like a 3-story block, and I was walking into the doorway, and I don't know why, but I just looked up like that, and there was like a glass ashtray, like somebody had thrown a glass ashtray at me, and I just moved, and it smashed on the floor, and somebody in the office went, "You English prick." I was like, wow, if I'd have not like looked up and just moved like spider sense, I'd have had an ashtray in my face, like a glass ashtray in my face. So what is it? So what is it that the English stop you from doing, Callum? I really would. I'd really like to know what the English. What do we mean by progression, guys? What do we mean by progression? It's not the English people. It's the government. We want our freedom. What do you mean by the freedom, guys? Okay, Miss Gem, Callum, what do we mean by freedom? And then Cal is saying Scotland's a progressive country, right? Okay, England's okay. So Callum, right? Okay, Callum, and I mean no disrespect, guys. Okay, to you, Callum. What do you mean by progressive? All right, I don't know what you mean by progressive. Do you not have electricity or something? What do you mean by progressive? Like, what is it you mean by progressive? Because there's an argument that that people in Scotland are more concerned about their freedom than their own education, because there's a lot more laws and legislations and time in Scottish Parliament given to Scottish freedom than actually bringing up the education in Scotland, because Scotland is falling way, 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 way behind in education. And that's nothing to do with the English guys. That's on you. You guys have got like your part autonomy. Right, I'm waiting for. I'm genuinely trying to find Callum here, guys. I want to find Callum's. Right, I hope Callum's not gone. I'm just going to scroll down these guys, so I don't want to miss Callum's. Oh, right, here we are. Right, so Callum is saying that Scotland want reconnection with the European Union, continuation of improvements of statutory service, such as public education. So, okay, and that's fine. And apart from the EU stuff, like, why would you so Callum, why would, okay, first of all, if you want to join the EU, that's fine. I don't really have an argument to that. If you personally want to join the EU, but why can't you continue to improve your services such as public education? Like, how are the English stopping you to do that? Are they coming up and saying, "Here, no, actually, you Scottish are too intelligent. You need to not be so smart"? And then the Scottish are saying, "Hey, we want freedom." Like, how are the English stopping the Scottish? How are the English stopping the Scottish improve their education systems? I don't know, guys. I genuinely don't know. I'd love to know. Right, let me jump down. Leanne is saying, did you see that Iran has dropped GPS for China's Beidou? Yeah. So, guys, look. So, for those of you guys who think Elon Musk and his SpaceX company is all a civilian company, no way, pal. That is on everything that SpaceX has a military application. So the Starlink satellites that give like low latency Wi-Fi. Excuse me. That have the low latency Wi-Fi. Well, that is actually a backup GPS signal for military GPS. So the Chinese are developing their own low Earth orbit satellites that will be a backup to their GPS, because planet, satellite. So if you've got like these GPS satellites at the moment, let's just say that 8 is where Europe is, right? Let's just say that 8 is where Europe is. Then a satellite would be your GPS satellites are in geostationary orbit. Where's the 8? So as the 8 turns, the satellite would turn as well, so that everybody in Europe can get GPS from that satellite. Now, the problem with these big geostationary satellites, is they're big, they're in geostationary orbit, and they can be taken down with a missile, guys. We know this is like old probably 1960s technology. So the solution to that, rather than have one big satellite that everybody knows where it is, that everyone's reliant on, you have a lot of smaller satellites going around pretty quickly. So the NATO countries have GPS, the Russians have GLONASS, and the Chinese have their own as well. But Iran is dropping GPS for China's. It just means that China can't, the Americans can't which I assume they have done, turn off their turn off their GPS systems. Right, guys, there's 22 comments. I'm going to jump to the bottom. Cal, if I've missed your comments, mate, I do apologize. Oh, here we are. Oh, hang on. Right, hang on. Let me jump up and try and find Cal's comments. Right, people are replying to Cal. But, oh, there he is. Right. The Scottish government is inherently limited as the English government, well, it's a British government, are overreaching control. Oh, I don't accept that, guys. Listen, I don't accept that. Like, where is the English government? Can somebody send me a link to the English government? Can somebody send me a link? Can somebody send me a link to the governing body that looks after England? Like the English government. Can somebody send me a link to the English government, guys? Cal, can you send me a link to the English government website? All right. And by English, I mean English, not British, because we don't have one. Like, if you're English, you don't have a governing body. You don't. We don't. The Welsh have their own governing bodies. The Scottish have their own governing bodies. The Northern Irish have their own governing bodies. The English, we don't get that. We don't get that. We have to deal with, Britain has to deal with everyone, and people think that's synonymous with England. There's nobody, believe me, there is nobody sticking up for English rights. There's no one sticking up for English culture, guys, all right? Scottish, you guys have got your own Scottish Parliament. Where's the English Parliament? Where's the English Parliament? Surely, if we're having a Scottish Parliament and we're having a Northern Irish Parliament and we're having a Welsh Parliament, why don't we have an English Parliament? So I don't take that, Callum. I don't take that. I really don't. Anyway, let me jump down, guys. Let me jump down and get the rest of these comments. Right, there's some very choice words in the comment, guys. Listen, guys, if you're going to troll each other, make sure you do it. Make sure you articulate it right. Don't swear. Don't be offensive. Just make sure, if you're going to voice your opinion in the chat, that's absolutely fine. I'll leave you guys to that in the chat for a minute while I go over to YouTube for a minute and get the comments over there. Right. John Thistlethwaite is saying, we don't live on a flat earth. Is that what you're trying to tell me, my friend? Look, I went down this flat earth. I want to say corridor. Why am I saying corridor? I really tried my hardest, guys, to get into this flat earth thing. I just couldn't get it. I could not get it. No argument that I've heard about the flat earth, none of them make sense. So for those guys, if you're watching on TikTok, guys, one of the comments on YouTube is, we're talking about a flat earth. And I don't see it, guys. I don't see the argument for a flat earth, guys. Absolutely not. There's a lot of strange things. As I'm getting older, I'm starting to question the moon landing a little bit more, guys. As I get older, I really am. A lot of things about the moon landing don't make sense, and I am starting to question the moon landing. But the flat Earth, like, what is Earth the only planet that's flat? Are all the other planets like? Are we the only planet that's flat in the universe? And if so, why so? But and April Lee's jumped over. Listen, I think you guys are going so wild in the chat. People are starting to jump over to YouTube. Right, guys, listen, I've not said it yet, have I? I've not said it yet. I do apologize. I've not said it yet. Can you guys, if you're watching now, can you like, follow, subscribe, do all the things that help this channel grow? So we double stream now, guys. We are on YouTube. We're streaming on YouTube. We're streaming on TikTok. We're trying to go stream on X as well, but I have to give Elon Musk my £11. But then I had to update my account, which has not happened yet because I need to put my passport picture in and everything. That's just not happened. So can you do those things, guys, that help? Can you do those things, guys, that help this channel grow? The like, follow, subscribe, whether it's down here or up there. Can you please do that and help this channel grow? Anyway, guys. Anyway. This chat has gone crackers. Right. Fluffy Mouse is saying free Lucy Connolly, political prisoner. Yes, I agree. Nah, the flat earth stuff is obviously nonsense. Right, guys, listen, this is going crazy, this chat. Right. Martin Quinn is saying, why is it the star's always in the same place if we are spinning round so quickly? Wow. Okay, so wow. So Martin, Martin, just so you know, the stars are not always in the same place, mate. If you look at if you go outside at night when it's, I don't know if it's, I can't see, but I think it might be a clear, it probably will be a clear night tonight. But if you go outside and look up at the stars, if you go up outside and look up at the stars and just like, I don't know, get a piece of paper or something or point to a star, over that star it won't move like the earth rotates, but that star will appear to move. So like the stars do move and they're not always in the same place, and different times of year you can see different star constellations. Anyway, right, let me jump down. Lisa's page is saying there'd been a lot of movement in the sky today, or am I going crazy? Yeah, there was a lot of air. Look, guys, you would expect this before, like the situation in Ukraine, guys. It literally is worse than ever. You know, the F-16s that the Ukrainians were gifted. They're losing about one. They're losing about one a month, which is a big attrition rate to say that, they don't have those aircraft shouldn't really be getting lost. They're losing these against drones. They're losing these against air defenses, and the barrages that have been sent over to Ukraine, there's no answer to it, guys. There is really no answer to it. Absolutely zero answer to the bombardments that have been sent over to Ukraine. Right, guys, listen, I am going to give you guys an update now on what's been happening in Liverpool Crown Court, guys. Okay, let me just So this is really suspicious to me, how this has had an absolute media blackout on this, guys. Absolute media blackout. The only people who are really reporting on this, guys, is Manchester Evening News, guys. All right. So this is an article. I'm going to read you now an article from Manchester Evening News. Excuse me. Brothers back in court ahead of Manchester Airport police assault trial as judge issues warning to potential jurors. A judge, this is what I was thinking about, guys. This is why I think they're going to try and get the case thrown out, and I think it could happen. A judge told, because then it'll be your fault. A judge told potential jurors in the trial of two brothers on trial over an alleged altercation with with police at Manchester Airport that they must not allow they must not allow yourselves, terribly written, to be influenced by anything you may have read or heard on the mainstream media or social media. And this is where I think this case could fall apart, guys, all right? So I think this lawyer, this barrister, whoever he is, I think he's going to go in there and he's going to say, look, this cannot be a fair trial because of the amount of social media coverage this case has had. These people have already made their mind up before they come into this court. And honestly, guys, I think it could get thrown out and then you're going to get the blame for it. Yes, you're going to get the blame for it, for sharing, for commenting, for talking about it. So then we're like, oh, right, what's next? Like, what's next, guys? So we just say we can beat police officers up. And then as long as we share, so like the next time you want to beat a police officer up, just beat the police officer up, but share the stuff online massively and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Just share it all online. Anyway, I'll continue. Mohammed Fahir Amaz, 20, and Mohammed Ahmad, 26, both of Tarnside Close in Rochdale. I'm sure that's a lovely area. Appeared at Liverpool Crown Court today. They have been, they're not wearing ties. I think that's the thing as well. They're just wearing shirts with no ties. They have been charged with assault following video footage of an alleged incident. How can you allege that incident? What are they claiming? It's AI. It's AI. No, it was AI. It was AI. It was fake news. They have been charged with assault following video footage of an alleged incident involving police officers and members of the public. I didn't know there was members of the public, guys. There was a member of the public who got some good news as well. So this is why I don't understand here, guys, okay? So a panel of 40 jurors was reduced to 28 after the panel was asked to complete a questionnaire. A jury selection began. Neil Felwitt, KC, told the panel of 24, so they've lost 4 already. I don't know. You will realise from the questionnaire that this trial involves the events at Manchester Airport on July 23rd last year, which attracted a large amount of mainstream media and social media interest. So he goes on, the article goes on. That's what I think they're, and remember, this is not their defence. This is not their defense. This is just the initial, I guess the prelims. So as soon as as soon as the guys get in there and they start the day at the trial, I think they're going to try, the barrister, the solicitor, whatever his name is. I think he is going to try and get the case thrown out. And how are people going to feel about this, guys? How are we going to feel about this when we've got Lucy Conley? Lucy Conley in jail for 2 years, 7 months for a tweet. Right, Fluffy Mouse, I've talked about Lucy Connolly, enough Fluffy Mouse, I will keep talking about her, you don't need to keep saying it, Lucy Connolly, all right, I will keep saying it because there's a lot of comments and these comments go up quick and I think you might be stopping for, you might be stopping other people's comments getting through. Linda Lou is saying this, right, yeah, listen, Linda Lou's got a good comment here, and it sounds, Linda Lou, this is a good comment, guys, right? So Linda Lou is commenting, they shouldn't have waited so long before taking them to court, really. Unless you're trying to subvert people, unless you want this news to be released in the summer for maximum social collateral, for maximum destabilization value. If you do it in the winter, people are just going to get angry. There'll be a few Facebook posts. There might be a little walk outside. If you do it right at the summer, in the protesting season, when kids are off school, when people are off work, 6 weeks holidays, if you add all this to the mix, it's going to have more social collateral. So these things that seem like crazy and they shouldn't be happening, if you take a step back and put your subversion, if you take a step back and put your subversion glasses on, everything becomes clear. You can see everything. Everything makes sense. And it does, guys. Everything makes sense if you're talking about subversion, guys, all right? So, again, this is why they let Tommy Robinson out. Like, look, guys, and I don't even think he should have been in jail. He's another political prisoner. But if you wanted the street, who draws a crowd bigger than Tommy? Like, literally, who draws a crowd bigger than Tommy? Nobody draws a crowd bigger than Tommy. So, why not? And listen, I want him to be out with his family. I want him to leave the country. I want him to go and live his life in peace, guys. All right, he's been through enough. If you want the streets to be quiet and have no counter protests of any stature, keep him in jail for another couple of months. Yeah, I mean, you've already done, the damage has already been done. Why not keep him in jail? You see where I'm going with this, guys, right? And let me caveat that, right? I don't think he should be in jail. I'm just saying that behind the scenes, somebody's saying, right, let Tommy out. He'll be able to get massive protests. Get that trial done. No, get it just before the summer holidays. Yeah, get it just before the summer holidays. Really, really rouse them up. Really feist them up. So, that's, and again, you've kind of got to understand subversion, guys, to understand this. Right, let me jump down and get these comments. Right, in fact, What time are we on? Right, guys, listen, I'll get the rest of the comments on TikTok, and then I'll jump over to YouTube, and I'll get the rest of the comments on YouTube afterwards. Right, guys, do you know what? Should I do some T-shirts saying Free Lucy Connolly? Should we get some T-shirts? Because everybody's saying Free Lucy Connolly. Do you know what? I'm gonna get. Do you want me to get some T-shirts and we'll give them away? We'll give the T-shirts away. I'll get some T-shirts printed. I'll phone my guy up. I'll say, Steve, yeah, they're all at it, mate. They want Free Lucy Connolly T-shirts. He'll say, how many? I'll say, I don't know, mate. Give us like 100. But listen, guys, these T-shirts cost me money, all right? So you guys have got a gift for them, all right? So when I get the T-shirts, you've got to do the gifting thing, all right? And I'll give the T-shirts away. Yeah, do you know what? I will. If I remember, keep reminding me, guys. Keep reminding me. Matt is saying the courts should be punished for taking so long and leading the public to speculation. Miss T is saying migrants coming by small boats to the UK have been told the Daily Express they are being transported for free by traffickers as they can pay off. They can pay back off. I think what Miss T saying that they can like work it off when they get in the United Kingdom. You know. So in the Soviet Union, Russia's massive. The Soviet Union was bigger. The Soviet Union, Russia, it's huge, guys. Okay, it's huge. It's huge. And one of the things that, in fact, hang on, I need to get this, guys. I don't want to get the video banned because if I say something that's slightly didactic, because I'm treading a thin wire at the moment, guys. Yeah, so this is from AI, guys, all right? So this is from AI, all right? So the algorithm that's going to dilly swizzle me, all right, and kick me off, I'm reading from AI now, guys, all right? I'm reading from AI. So this is from AI, guys, okay? So the Soviet Union employed population displacement as a tool for control and political aims, including deportations of entire nationalities deemed anti-Soviet and forced labor transfers. These actions, particularly during and after the Second World War, involved moving millions of people to inhospitable regions like Serbia, Central Asia, often to areas deemed strategically important. So that's their tactics that have been used in the past, guys. All right, the displacement of humans, moving people from one place to another. That this has been a tactic used since, as AI is telling us. I don't know what AI I'm using, guys. I don't know what AI I'm using, like the Google AI or whatever it is. So when we look, and do we think that that's happening to the United Kingdom? Do we think that over the years, this has been used against us, this displacement, and maybe somewhere in like a back office or somewhere, maybe somewhere in a back office, somewhere like somebody's laughing saying, Vladimir, they take 1 million and they still pay. That's so stupid. Don't worry. Tell Lord Ali to tell Keir Starmer to pass this bill. Okay, Vladimir, he will never go for it. No, he will. He knows nothing. Like, do we think that's happening somewhere behind the scenes? Or do we think that this is just all random? I'll read that again, guys, all right? So listen, this is from AI, guys, all right? So when we're talking about the mass displacement of people as a social engineering, as a control method, I knew this anyway, but I had to get it on AI because if I said this and I was slightly wrong, I'd get the video flagged. The Soviet Union employed population displacement as a tool for control and political aims, including deportations of entire nationalities deemed anti-Soviet and forced labor transfers. These actions, particularly during and after the Second World War, involving moving millions of people to inhospitable regions like Siberia and Central Asia, often to areas deemed strategically important. So if you push your people in there, if you push enough of your people in there, that becomes yours because they're that's how it works, guys. That is literally just how all that stuff works. These tactics have been happening for a long time. And again, I keep having to say this. We have a political class here who are so arrogant. They think they know better. They think they know better with their 3 years in power or their year almost in power. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, listen, I'm going to close down you lot on TikTok. I'm going to close down the TikTok guys. I'm going to go over to the YouTube. I'm going to be over on YouTube for a couple of minutes, answering the questions, and I will be back on tomorrow morning at 8. I will be covering, guys. I will keep covering what's happening in Liverpool Town Court. Excuse me. I do think it's important. It's important to the Summer of Carnage. It's important to what's coming next, guys, all right? So if you want, jump over to YouTube, guys. I'll be over on YouTube for a couple of minutes, or as long as the questions keep me busy, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Wow. The chat on TikTok was wild, guys. That was wild. People, you can tell people are angry. Like, people are really angry on that TikTok chat, guys. They are going crazy on the TikTok chat. Right, let me just click some buttons on here, guys, and close this down so I'm not running 2 cameras, and that will take my computer processing power up or down, whichever, well, the processing power will stay the same, but I'll have more processing power for this, for you guys. Right, we are off. Right, okay, so Potsinator is. Oh, hang on. Right, let me get back up here. Right, guys. I think I may be missing some people, guys. Here, I may be missing. Right, so John Thistlethwaite is saying, obviously, nobody has ever used a prick sheet, no language intended to track the movement while we are all spinning. I give up. Yeah, so I think what John's talking about there is a guy came up on the TikTok and he said, how can the Earth be spinning? The stars are always in the same place. And I don't look. I don't like. I know a lot of people just won't know this, but like the stars are not in the same place. They are continually moving from our perspective because the Earth's moving. And if you put your finger on it, like I don't know, if you point to a star or something, or get a piece of paper, or as John's saying, a prick sheet, where you would like put little pricks where the stars are. They do move. So, I had to explain this to this guy. But listen, every day is school day, ladies and gentlemen. Every day is school day. Lisa Jane is saying, Sean, saw it on TV, Sean. I didn't share it. What are we talking about there? And then John is saying, and we just happen to be the only planet in the infinite universe that's flat. Yeah. I will always approach something, guys, with an open mind. I'll never be rude to anyone who's like, if you come up to me and you say the Earth's flat, I'll say, right, okay, fine. Why do you think that? Prove it to me. And again, if somebody proves it to me, I'll say, that's absolutely fine. But, I'll never make fun out of somebody. Well, there's no buts in it. I'll never make fun out of somebody. I'll always try and, listen to people. I did go down and I really tried to learn about the flat Earth and see what it was all about. And it made no sense, guys. It made no sense. Claire is saying, did the Manchester men get sentenced? No, Claire, they didn't get sentenced. What was happening today was, What was happening today was it was the first day, so they were sorting out the jury. I think they was doing a bit of admin. I think on day one of the trial, which I think is actually going to be Wednesday. So I think on day one of the trial, it might be tomorrow, but I do think it's Wednesday. What I think is going to happen, the barrister, whoever is going to try and get it thrown out, and they're going to say, how can this be a fair trial when there's been so much social media? All the information's out there. How can this be a fair trial? I think that's what they're going to try and do, guys, get this thrown out. Lisa is saying Tommy Robinson is back in court for this long for not giving his PIN number to his phone. Lisa Jacob is saying we also want to make UK great again hats. All right, we want. What do we want? Do we want make the UK great again hats? Do we want Free Lucy Conley, or do we want those? Oh, hang on. I've seen a Russian on TikTok laughing at the UK because we can't control our borders. I didn't find it funny at all. But like, you understand that behind the scenes, people are trolling us, guys. People are trolling us. Yeah, and you know what? I've got every respect. I'm not laughing at it myself, but like, I can see how the Russians find it funny. You want to go war with us? Huh. We will just buy a rubber dinghy. You cannot defend against rubber dinghy. Yora, go to supermarket. No, big supermarket. Buy all rubber dinghy. No, don't worry about warship. They're obsolete. Rubber dinghy is future. Like, that's where they're going, guys. That is where they're going. Yes, I'll be back on at 10 a.m. in the morning, guys. 10 a.m. in the morning. I will be back on at 10 a.m. in the morning. I will. Right, let me jump down and get these comments. So, D. Marie, Gen X, is saying, did you see the Yeah, so we were talking about that right at the beginning. In fact, that is that's what we're talking about here, guys, on this live stream, the dark kitchens. So, yeah. So, D. Marie, did you see migrants set up a fast food takeaway on Just Eat using the kitchen at the hotel, selling burgers to unsuspecting public? Like, I suspect this is happening this is not the only place this is happening. I would speculate that they're using those kitchens. We pay for their food and stuff, and you know, they're using our own money against us. Now, and again, these sort of things don't get the big headlines. They don't get the big headlines, but these are the slow burners that people don't care about. You know, oh, we want to defend our country. We've got to build drones and aircraft carriers. Whoa, hang on a minute. How about we just turn back to Christianity and have a little bit of national pride? Like, why do we do that to start with? Kia? But it's these small burners like this, because every penny that they send through like Western Union or like, I don't know, they like these cash converter shops. You can go in there. I know I've had to do it myself when I've been stranded in other countries. Yeah, I've been stranded in quite a few countries, guys. So I've had to get people to send me money when I've been absolutely like stranded. When that happens, when that money leaves that country, it doesn't come back. So I know a lot of these people are sending money back to their own countries. And when that money leaves our economy, that means it's not going into the local shop. It's not going to, the local pub or wherever. That money's not. You see how it's slowly being taken away. Lisa Jane, do people watch science programs? Brian Cox has got planets on BBC iPlayer. It's amazing. Listen, not everybody's into this sort of stuff, guys. Okay, not everybody cares about stuff that's outside their initial vision, and that's kind of one of the problems. If you, on the macro, on the micro that translates to the macro. Putzinator is saying barrels in the background. Yes, indeed. 15 litres in each one of those. Sharon, guys, so many comments. Right, guys, I'm jumping down guys, because the chat is going wild and I'm just conscious of the time. Linda Clark is saying, I was chatting to a Russian soldier on TikTok, and he said he felt very sorry for us all because we have not faced anything like this for lots of years. Yeah, The last Batman with Christian Bale, there's like Bane. He says something. He's got Batman and he's beating him up, and he says, "Victory has defeated you." And that's right, guys. You know, victory has defeated us as a country. You know, we don't do things ourselves anymore. Oh, the government should be doing this. The government should be doing that. The government should. No, the government will be looking after themselves, guys. That is literally their job, to get as much money as possible and to stay in office for as long as possible. That is the job of the government. Right, guys, listen, I'm going to leave it there, guys, all right? It is so hot today. I've still got some housework to do. I'm going to go back in the house. I'm going to try and have a little cornetto ice cream, probably a strawberry one or something. I'm going to get the ironing done for tomorrow morning, guys, and then that is going to be me. It is hot. Make sure you drink plenty of water, guys. I'm going to go. I'll be back on tomorrow at, what did I say? I said 8 p.m., didn't I? No, 10 p.m. tomorrow, guys, 10 p.m. I'll be back on tomorrow morning at 10, guys.